Cold War during Cuba. So let's go back to before the Cold War. Before the Cold War, Cuba had a lot of tourism and they took actions such as the Platt Amendment, the Spanish-American War, the 10 Years' War. They took part in leading the Treaty of Paris, Ostend Manifesto. Their main language was Spanish. They were not communists and they were located by the Korean in Central America. During the Cold War, they were led by Fidel Castro, which he also led the Cuban Revolution from 1953 to 1962. Now, during the Cold War, one of the first things that happened in Cuba was the Bay of Pigs invasion by John F. Kennedy, which failed in 1961. Now, in 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis was enacted, and that was retreated after a while. But what about now? Now they're a communist state as of 1962, but they faced a lot of what about now? Now they're a communist state as of 1962. They are free of the Soviets, but they do face a lot of discrimination. Now, what are the long-lasting effects of the Cold War for Cuba? Well, if we go back a little bit, Cuba went through their special period, which was a time of struggle for them. And they also had the arresting of the Cuban Five, which actually later was a prisoner swap between the last 3 Cubans and 1 American that was arrested. Now, the sonic attacks also took place throughout this time, but after everything, Cuba is now as strong as it's ever been in the current 2024. But there was one policy that had a big effect on people coming to the United States. If you had stayed in the river or in the lake, then you could not cross the United States. But if you were already crossing and you were already in the United States, then you could stay. So that is it on the Cold War in Cuba.